It's Colonel Randy Guinn, who's director of the MHP and also assistant commissioner of Department of Public Safety. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm great, Paul. Thanks for having me.
It is good. I was just mentioning we saw a couple of highway patrolmen on the roads, and we got the best-looking cars.
Well, thank you.
We really do, don't we?
We think so.
And I think there is a competition on that.
Yes, sir. There's the American Association of State Troopers every year has a competition, and we always enter a photograph in there. And we did again this year, and we made the calendar again. So we're proud of that.
Is there a number one? I'm looking at. I saw that not too long ago, and I said nobody's got one quite like ours.
No, they don't. Kentucky won the contest this year with by vote.
Well, it's Mitch McConnell. Mitch did that.
They had a Camaro or something on a racetrack. I think that might have got it. But I thought our photograph, our setting, and the vehicle itself. I thought
is everybody universally. This is not what you came in to talk about, but is everybody universally using the Dodges now, or is it different ones?
No, it's different ones.
Is it?
A lot of the sedan, the Dodge Charger, is the only car that you can get now, but you have some other options on SUV types from the Durango, the Explorer, and the Tahoe.
So the days of the old Ford, what was it, Galaxy or 500?
Crown Vic.
Crown Vic. The old Crown Vic, man.
You'll see a few of those still out there, but they've been out of production for about 10 years now, so they're getting very rare, and we don't have any in our fleet on the road.
You could have Mr. Johnson down the street with a Crown Vic, and you'd slow down when you saw him.
That's it.
Watch out, here he comes. All right, 23 members of the Mississippi Highway Patrol recognized at the 2020 DUI 100 Club Awards luncheon. Tell me about this.
Well, that's a luncheon that was hosted by Storm, the organization that teaches field sobriety training to law enforcement officers across the state. And they recognize law enforcement, police officers, sheriff's department, Natchez Trace Parkway Ranger was there, as well as troopers this year for their hard work over the year. And we had 23 troopers that were recognized during that awards ceremony.
This is the Highway Patrol troopers themselves?
Yes, sir.
What was some of the criteria? I mean, recognized for what was some of the outstanding things that were done?
Well, the recognition for this event is for DUI enforcement, which means DUI arrest, and they have two categories. One's an honorable mention for troopers or officers who arrest from 50 to 99 DUIs in a year. And this is for the 2020 calendar year. Yep. And then the other recognition is for officers who arrest 100 or more DUIs for the year.
Our staff right now, how many highway patrolmen do we have actually on the road in patrol cars?
Around 330.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Is that half of what we need, or?
That is about 65-70% of what we need. We're about 130 troopers short, so if we had that other 130 troopers, you would figure we'd be about 450.
Logically, Colonel, would you say that half of them are day shift, half night shift, or how's that work out?
Typically, they're partnered up, so at the maximum on the weekends, when they get 2 weekends off a month, so you figure about half of them are off on the weekends for sure, and then through the weekday, probably 60 to 70% staffing, depending on DO and other events that are going on.
You know, I learned something because we were talking with when Thomas Tuggle came in. We talked to him because the amount of time to become a highway patrolman is longer than a regular police officer or sheriff's deputy. And one of the things he talked to me about, and I never thought about this. These guys guys and gals are by themselves. Sometimes they're lonely, especially being a very rural state. They're out in the middle of nowhere when they have to pull somebody over. They can't call for backup.
Well, that's true. It's a lot of highway out there, and not a lot of people doing the job. The troopers are spread out, as are sheriff's departments, so they are on their own for the most part until backup can arrive. And sometimes that's quick, and sometimes that's not very quick. So they have to be prepared.
Was one of the criteria that they had to write a certain number of citations?
Yes, sir. The number of citations that they wrote for that year was what got them, put them in that category to go to that.
You mind if I mention some of their names here?
No, it's in the.
It's in the press release.
Press release, yes, sir.
Well, hats off to Trooper Wesley Kelly. I'm not sure where these guys are from. Trooper Brian Morrow, Trooper Adam Zachary, Trooper Randy Box, what a great name, Trooper Jason Jenkins, Trooper Joshua Jones, Trooper Joshua Jarvis, and Trooper Zachariah Meeks. Got an honorable mention with 59 citations. So congratulations to those guys.
Yes, sir. They all do a great job, as do all of our troopers. We're very proud of their accomplishments.
What's the atmosphere and the environment like now with all this stuff going on from the disrespect for law enforcement officers? How's that affected our people in the Mississippi? And from what I gather, we are one of the lucky states. We still have a lot of people who are respected here, but people moving through, coming through, or some folks who just want to act up a little bit. Has that affected the guys and gals out there?
On a large part, not every day, but there are times when it does affect them. They, like everyone else, have concerns, and they are on their guard and head on a swivel just for officer safety in general every day. And then they have to be aware of their environment, aware of what's going on around them, who they're dealing with, and make sure that they're handling themselves professionally. And as we always expect them to do, but I think they're making an extra effort to do that. And
I think you would agree that it's been 4 or 5 years since you were in the academy. At least 4 or 5 years.
It's been a day or two, yes, sir.
You want to mention how many years ago?
34 years.
Okay,
ago.
34 years ago. You have to train officers different today than they did 34 years ago.
Absolutely, we do everything just about differently than we did when I came on. Mm-hmm. You know, the equipment that you use, all the way up to the people you're dealing with, have changed. Society has changed, and our training staff and our leadership does, I think, a good job of helping our troopers along to recognize those changes and to deal with them on a daily basis.
How much classroom time is required now that wasn't before? In other words, it seems to me that more classroom time is needed now than ever before, because everybody wants to be a Rhodes Scholar and a lawyer, Harvard graduate lawyer, when they get stopped.
Well, I couldn't put an hours to it, but there is more at our in-service training. We get more training from our legal division and updates from our legal division, as well as officer safety things that we didn't have to worry about in times past, things to look for that could be a danger that don't look like it, whether it be something that you touch in a car that looks like a powder that you've seen all your life, that for this time it's not that same powder. It's something that can kill you with the touch.
I'm interested. Let's just say Will was stopped in a very rare area, because Will was just driving a nice car and he's pulled over, and you see maybe a tail light or something, and or else you just think maybe he crossed the median a little bit too much. You pull him over, and he fails to roll the window down more than an inch and a half, and he says, "I don't have to do it. I don't have to give you my license because I haven't committed a crime. Why are you stopping me?" Because this happens every day. If you're watching social media, I mean, it's every third clip is like this. What do you say?
Well, I'd say, one, you do have to produce your license on
Is that a state law?
It's a state law, yes.
It is a state law.
Yes,
so
sir.
when they say it doesn't matter if you've committed a violation or not, the very fact that you've been stopped is the process of investigation.
Well, it is, and it would be based on a violation or a reason to make that stop, and then it's, compliance is the fastest way to get the stop completed.
Oh, absolutely. I understand that, but sometimes people want to be headstrong about that.
They do, yes, sir, and you have to work through that. But
do they have to roll the window down all the way?
They do need to roll the window down so that you can see in the car, yes.
And if
officer safety.
If they do not do that, is there a violation or a fine, or could they be arrested?
It could lead to that if things do not, if compliance and following the instructions of the officer